Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to show you the process of creating this teacup illustration that I did for the Food Paint Challenge on Instagram. I really love that challenge, and I find the photos that they post are just fun and interesting. And also, this is the last page in my sketchbook that I started back last summer for World Watercolor Month, so I'm excited to finish this up. And I'm beginning by sketching with a col erase pencil in the color orange. I'm just getting that basic sketch in. Now, if you're not familiar with col erase pencils, they are an erasable colored pencil, and there's other brands that make these. These happen to be by Prismacolor, and I bought a box of 24 years ago, and I just grab whatever color I think is either the most similar to what I want to use or just whatever color inspires me. I know I can erase a line if I need to, but mostly I like these pencils because they're not super waxy, and my watercolor seems to stick to it fine. Markers stick to it fine. It doesn't gum things up. It doesn't resist stuff. It's just kind of nice. It's just nice for sketching with, and I recommend them. And not for shading or coloring, just for doing those sketches under media you intend on finishing in, like watercolor or marker. I'm starting off with some burnt sienna. I flicked on some water and I painted in the tea in the cup, and I just flicked on some brown, thinking maybe the tea was splashing. Basically, I just wanted to loosen up. This page was not pristine. There was some stains and some smudges on it, so I really didn't have high expectations. I just wanted to have fun and do this sketch. That's kind of one of the reasons I love to do the Food Paint Challenge photos, because it's not my photo, it's not too precious. I just kind of play and have fun. That shadow color is made with burnt sienna and ultramarine blue, and that's a great shadow color because those colors will make a wonderful neutral gray, but they also split apart a bit and you get some nice texture. So it's a great way to add some interest into a painting. I am adding also some of that gray onto the teacup to add some shading before I go in and paint any of the roses that were on the teacup, and I'm really not fussing. My saucer's a little weird looking. I forgot my camera ran out of battery and I didn't realize it. So voila, flowers on the teacup. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it was funny because I was doing some other sketches in my sketchbook earlier today to finish up some cells that I had not finished up, and I completely forgot to turn on the camera. I was using my art dice and everything, and rolling the dice for the prompts and I forgot to turn the camera on, or yeah. I'm like, okay, that was a wash, but whatever. We're gonna film this one, at least most of it. And I like the color in the lemons. I like the color in the teacup, but it felt like it was just floating in this vast page. This is a 9x12 sketchbook, so I just started slapping some leftover color down on the page to see what we got. This really was just experimenting and having fun. I didn't narrate it when I was painting because often I find if I'm recording and I'm really aware of it and I'm trying to explain myself as I go, I tend to do the safe thing and not take any risks and not experiment very much. And I really wanted this last page in my sketchbook to be experimental and fun, and I just want to have a good time with it. I love to put shadows in. I think a lot of times people don't go dark enough with their shadows, so playing around with the lemon slices there, defining them with the shadows. Negative painting is your friend. I find a lot of times just going around a subject with the shadows really help give your picture a bit of a pop. I've switched over to some gouache. The gouache is in the Quadruffy palette, and I'll have a review coming up for that soon, but my friend Rosie gave me that set. It's got water buckets, a palette, stay wet palette, place for paints. It's just kind of neat. And I had this leftover gouache from a previous project that I figured I might as well use it up, because honestly I'm not in love with this gouache and it's kind of weird, so I'm probably just going to wash it out of the palette eventually, probably before I use it up. So I thought, well, let's use up what we can, and so that's what I was doing there. And I love the palette here in this Quadruffy set because the palette paper doesn't curl up. It's really fantastic. I'll link that down below if you're curious. It's a neat gadget, and just spoiler alert, I like the whole setup, and I'll go into an in-depth overview of that in a few weeks. But yeah, it's wonderful. It's a wonderful little gadget. And yeah, check it out if you're looking for something to, like, just, I don't know, make your painting more portable, compact. Perfect timing, right? Because spring and summer is coming, and we'll all be painting outside, at least trying to, and that's kind of nice for that. I'm using some browns and just kind of yellow ochres and some violets, and just trying to get a little bit more substance and volume. I guess the cup wasn't feeling very weighty, and I wanted it to feel weighty, like it had some weight to it. And also with gouache, because I wasn't very careful about saving whites or really that much, I just was experimenting, so I didn't really pay much attention when I was splashing color down, what I was going to need for lighter spaces. I was just playing, and the gouache can really be wonderful for bringing back some structure. And speaking of structure, I'm using this brown acrylic paint marker. This is an Ohuhu paint marker. It's the set that has the fine plastic nib that's like an extra fine Posca on one end, and it's got a bullet nib on the other end. They're a really nice marker. Occasionally I find that my fine nibs either clog or dry up, and all I have to do for that is just like give it a good shake and then pump it a few times and scribble it on scrap paper, and it gets it going again. Now I was feeling the background again was still too vast, and I needed some texture or pattern or something, so I thought I really would love a script, like a nondescript script in the background. So this is a stamp. It's of Da Vinci's backwards writing, and it's from About Art Accents. They've gone out of business, but it's just a great basic script. I think everybody should have every mixed media artist should have a basic script, rubber stamp, maybe even if their own script. I might actually, my handwriting's atrocious, but I was thinking it might be fun to do like a scribble or a script or something in my own handwriting and make a photopolymer stamp of it, because I have a stamp maker, so that might be on my to-do list. But for now, I'm using the ones that I have already made. And I did stamp a little crooked, and I'm kind of bummed about that, but it's going to be fine. It's just kind of like, shoot, I wish it was straight, but it's not. And I am splashing on and spraying my splashes and adding color and spraying the colors and just, I don't know, trying to fill the background a bit, because the background just feels too open and uninteresting. And now I'm going in with some more of the colors I used, mixing new colors, adding them to the background and giving them sprays. So yeah, I'm going to keep adding until I'm happy with it, right? It's my sketchbook. It doesn't need to please anybody else. And I encourage you to do the same. Now here I thought I really would like to have some gold on the teacup itself, something really reflective. And I thought, well, I've got gold foil for days, so I'm going to use that. So I'm using the adhesive, which is by, I think it's by Cosmic Shimmer. Anyway, it's for gilding flakes, and it's a type of glue. You add it down and you let it dry, and once it dries, it's tacky, and then you can press the gold foil into it, and that's what I'm going to do here. I've got some mink gold foil, which is a laminator gold foil, but it also works with adhesive. So you just got to make sure you get the right foil for what you plan on doing. I prefer to use adhesive for my foiling because I don't know what I'm going to be foiling, and the mink foil will work with either a laminator or with adhesive. So that would be my recommendation. I've tried some foils that are garbage, and I've tried other ones that are good, but I just know the mink is pretty reliable, and it's not terribly expensive, and you can get the little half rolls, which is what I have here, which works great for me. I honestly don't really like using it with a laminator. I would prefer to do this method. And double-sided tape, it works great with. It's just a really useful, fun product when you want to add a little really bright shimmer. Now, if you don't have that, you could use gold ink, you could use a gold paint pen, you could use aqua bronze, gold flakes, whatever you want. Now I wanted more pattern, so I had this set of stencils it was a set of 30 from Amazon for like 10 or 11 bucks. Maybe it was 11 or 12 bucks, I can't remember. But they're small scale, and they've just got these small patterns, and I find them to be very useful for card making because if I'm using my little 5x7 gel plate, the scale is just great. And the scale is also really good for sketchbooking, for like throwing in some patterns. You know, like this sketchbook page is very, you almost would even call it like art journaling, but it doesn't have any words or anything. But it's got that same kind of vibe where we're adding these mixed media elements, which I love. I love to do that. And yeah, having a few generic patterns that you can go in and ink up, and I'm just using some little brushes from Craft Stash and Distress Oxide inks for this. And I'm using my favorites, man. I forgot how much I enjoyed the Distress Oxide inks. They are probably one of my favorite Tim Holtz products. I feel they're great as inks. They're great as paints. They're just really fun and handy to have. And yeah, it was just nice to create this, and I hope you enjoyed this time lapse. It took me about an hour to do, and I'm thrilled. It's my last page of my sketchbook, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and as always, till next time, happy crafting.